Beneath Spain's wrought iron balconies and cobblestone streets lie voices. They are trapped in objects from the past. When touched, when the sun goes down, they tell their story. Be advised that this is a horror podcast with very adult themes. I was once eating lunch with an acquaintance in North Africa. He was Spanish and was on vacation, like me. We were under the thatched roof of a beachside bar. Another Spanish woman heard us speaking and came up to introduce herself. Both my acquaintance and the woman were a few decades older than me. It turns out the two of them had quite a bit to talk about. They had both immigrated from Spain to Switzerland when they were small children. The stories they told of their shared experience were actually really awful. When they were kids, their entire classes, including the teacher, pointed and laughed at them for the words they mispronounced in German when they read out loud. Mothers opened their second-story shutters and yelled down at their children, "Don't play with the dirty brown Spaniards!" High school counselors ignored their white-collar dreams and advised them to stick to agricultural work or the factories. And store clerks stalked them while they shopped for clothes. Police officers harassed them on the street. After sharing these horrific experiences of straight-up racism, we had finished our meal. My acquaintance wanted to ask for the check. The two North African waiters were distracted on their phones, playing loud music and laughing and dancing off in a corner. My acquaintance said, "Look at them. They're like little children playing with their toys." The woman nodded and smiled, almost benevolently. He continued, "We need to teach them. They need to learn how to properly serve a table." Wait, what? How could he talk like that after the experience he had lived with prejudice? I looked at her, waiting for her reaction. All she did was nod emphatically, in wholehearted agreement with his sentiment. Yo soy Samuel. Bienvenido a Spanish Sundown. "2025. The mountains somewhere between the communities of Castilla y León and Madrid."
Mohammed? Mohammed, did you just hang up on me?
Eusebio slammed his phone down on the rough-hewed wooden kitchen table, the one he had sawn with his own two hands, right next to the transistor radio. Mohammed wants a work contract. The farmhand wants a work contract. Did Mohammed even know how much that would cost him? How much the government just raised his independent contractor social security taxes just to farm his own land? And what was an independent contractor anyway? He was a farmer, damn it. Eusebio pulled out his rosary and began to pray. Praying always calmed him
Ave
down.
Maria, llena eres de gracia, y bendito es el fruto de tu vientre.
Farming didn't pay like it used to. Just like lots of his neighbors, Eusebio had had to sell the family farm. And just like lots of his neighbors, he sold it to some foreign woman, some woman named Watson. She never came around. She just expected his rent payment in her account. Also, he could keep living and working in his own home. The worst part? She made him rent out the guest house down below on Airbnb. Always groups of British, German, or American kids who just wanted to go out and get drunk the next village over. But he had no choice. No, Mohammed was not getting a work contract. What would Mohammed know about his taxes? None of his people paid theirs. Spain wasn't the same as the country he grew up in. You saw more hijabs and kebab shops than mantillas and bullfights nowadays. Eusebio couldn't focus. He set his rosary on the table and switched the radio on. It's 11 at night, 10 p.m. in the Canary Islands. Dear listener, welcome to Iberian history. Did you ever think about the fact that you could very well be a 45th generation Roman? If you go back 2,000 years... Eusebio could believe it.
My family's been farming these mountains for centuries and centuries.
What was that noise? Probably nothing. Of course, when the Romans waged the Celto-Iberian Wars against the indigenous peoples of the peninsula, all those many years ago... No, there was definitely something outside. Eusebio could guess what it was. The three guys renting his Airbnb guest house. Three brothers, the O'Malleys. Some giddies from Boston. They all had red hair. The oldest one, the one with his name on the reservation, was named Ian. Eusebio knew what they were here for. When they showed up on their three motorcycles.
Let's get some cheap alcohol!
His English wasn't great, but he understood that word. They must be drunk and tinkering with something they shouldn't. Best go check it out. Eusebio passed the guest house where the boys were staying, turned the corner until the bullpen came into view, and then...
Get him! You almost got him! Come on, get the fucker! Get him!
In the evening light, it was hard to see, but... Yep, that was them all right. What in the hell?
Hey, boys, what are you doing? Don't touch that gate. That bull is dangerous.
Eusebio started running. The three brothers were at the metal gate, the bull just on the other side of the fence. Pawing, mad, with 52 inches of horn on either side of his head.
Hey, boys, I'm serious now. Don't open that gate. That bull is no game. Boys, I'm talking to you.
All three of them turned at once to look at Eusebio. Their white skin and red hair practically glowed in the last beams of sunlight. They were dressed identically, in jeans and hoodie sweatshirts. But they said nothing. They only took a few steps closer to the old man.
Hey, are you boys all right?
They didn't look all right. Their eyes were as bloodshot red as the color of their hair. Finally, the oldest one, the one named Ian, spoke.
Why do you have this guy locked up? What are you? A bullfighter or something?
It was difficult for Eusebio to understand the boy's American accent.
Excuse me? I said... Are you a bullfighter? No, I'm no bullfighter myself. I raise Toros for the matadores. Move away from the gate, please. It's dangerous. I think that bullfighting is awful. Just terrible. It's really terrible, bullfighter.
Eusebio tried to look Ian in the eye, but found that it was impossible. The boy's pupils were so dilated that they looked empty. It was then that Eusebio saw that Ian was holding an iron chain in his hand. The boy took another step forward, then looked at his two brothers.
Hey, what do you guys think about bullfighting?
Awful. Just terrible. Evil. It's a sin.
Hey, what's going on here? You got a problem? You really need to stay away from the bull. You need to just listen.
Under the best of circumstances, a cracked rib can take somewhere around 6 months to recuperate. When you're 72 years old, it can take even longer for the bone to heal. Eusebio fell to his knees. Ian yelled out to his brothers,
Release the bull!
The two boys opened the gate. The animal thundered past them with its heavy hooves and 52 inches of horn on either side of its head. And then it crashed into the nearby forest. The three young men were ecstatic. They danced around in circles. What the hell was wrong with them? These boys weren't just drunk. What the hell were they on? Engrossed in celebration, the boys seemed to have momentarily forgotten about Eusebio. Run. Eusebio, you need to run. These guys are crazy. Run to the guest house. It's closer than the farmhouse. Just hope the guys didn't lock the door. When a dry stick breaks in two, it splinters in every direction. It snaps and pops.
Hey, that old man, he's getting away.
Running on a cracked rib is like breaking a dry stick in two. Eusebio's sprint hobbled as fast as his injury would let him. The O'Malley boys were gaining on him. Ian with the iron chain in his hand.
Get back here, old man. I'm gonna catch you. Hey, old man, I'm talking to you. Get back here, old man.
Please, Bill. Please, Bill. Please, Bill.
We're gonna catch you, old man.
Their breath was almost on his neck by the time he reached the door.
Oh, thank you, God.
The boys had left the door unlocked. Eusebio drew the deadbolt from the inside.
Hey, bullfighter, let us in.
The particle board coffee table in front of the TV was covered in empty beer cans and overflowing ashtrays. There was a window on the wall right behind it. Come on, Eusebio, call for help. Eusebio patted his breast pocket in the green sweater vest. Then, his right-hand pant pocket. Oh no.
Where's my phone? Where's my phone?
Not there. He touched the left-hand pant pocket.
Damn it.
It was sitting on the kitchen table in his farmhouse, right by the radio, where he slammed it down after arguing with Mohammed.
What are you doing in there, bullfighter?
No way he could make it back to his house, not with them right outside. He looked at the window behind the dirty coffee table again. It was open. It was so close to the woods, you could almost touch the dark trees through the opening. He knew that forest. Maybe he could cut through. Maybe he could make it to the road on the other side. Maybe he'd get lucky and find some passing car.
Not so brave now, huh, bullfighter?
He would have to move fast. He glanced down at the coffee table on his way to the window, and that's when he saw...
What the hell?
A glass pipe. Crystals like ice. Eusebio had never seen that before, but he could guess what it was. And something else he did recognize for sure. Mushrooms. The kind that grew in these mountains. The kind that made you see things. Meth and shrooms. What a mix.
So that's what was wrong with these guys. God damn you, Mohammed.
Because Mohammed must have sold it to them. It had to be him. Who else? You've got to move, Eusebio. Pushing your body through a window is never easy. It's excruciating when you have a splintered rib. Eusebio rushed for the vegetation. The sun had just gone down. The forest was dark and balmy in the early summer, the smell of fennel and of warm earth. It did nothing to calm his throbbing heart.
Ah, fuck, he's gone. Shit, he got away. Bullfighter, where'd you go, bullfighter?
Eusebio had escaped right in the nick of time. He hobbled through the trees, holding his side and praying to take his mind off the pain. The road was only a 10-minute walk away, less for someone running, even if they were injured. Get rid of the three guys. Find a car. Get the police. Go to a hospital. He limped along, praying under his breath. He stopped praying for a moment and turned his ear to the wind. Had he lost them? He palpated his rib. Excruciating. Damn it, there they were, and on motorcycle. Run, Eusebio.
You can do this. Come on. You're 45th generation Roman.
The road! There was the light of the road! But the motorcycles were getting louder.
I'm 45th generation Roman. Damn it!
Almost to the road. He couldn't see the motorcycles, but he could smell the gasoline. Almost to the road. Almost to the road. He turned his head to see if his chasers were in view, when... In the darkness, when he turned his head to look behind him, he hadn't even seen the huge stone mass in front of him. The cracked rib was so agonizing, it was all he could feel as his legs buckled beneath him. And as he crumpled to the ground, he heard the voices. Like a groan, seeping into his body. Through the stone mass, the voices screamed. The only thing he could hear. He looked up in the darkness and could just make out the silhouette of a motorcycle shooting out of the dark trees beside him, right beside him, right beside him, right before he blacked out. The voices have a story to tell. 45 BC. Somewhere in the mountains between the present-day communities of Castilla y León and Madrid. Human blood doesn't smell like animal blood, especially when it sticks and hangs in the summer night air, especially when it's your family's blood.
I want to kill them.
Ambon tasted his family's death on his lips as he leaned back against the stone mass. It stuck like syrup inside his nose. He had been such a coward.
I want to kill them.
He gripped his father's iron sword with its red and black striped hilt in one hand, the only thing he had saved from the fire. In the other, he held the tongue of the earth, to speak with the gods.
I want to kill them!
But Ambon didn't know where the Romans had gone. He had been hiding, like the coward he was. He stood up from the stone mass to look at it. Kossuth, a towering stone bull, the god of war, of virility.
God Kossuth, show me where to go.
Like he had seen his tribe's god speaker do so many times before, he put the tongue of the earth into his mouth. He slowly chewed the dry brown fungus. The pithy texture and bitter flavor swarmed his taste buds. Then he waited, staring at the stone bull he was leaning against, the protector of their livestock and of his people. Nothing was happening.
Kossuth, help me. Please.
Ambon slumped back down to the ground, leaning his head against the stone leg of the bull. This was useless. Ambon fell asleep under the moonlit sky. He was awakened by a soft grunting. His back was still leaning against the stone leg, but now the leg was warm. It was quivering. Ambon jumped to his feet. The bull's stone haunches rippled under the moonlight. They sprouted brown hair. The hair spread and spread until its entire body was covered. And its stomach began to expand, then contract. Expand, then contract. Expand, then contract. The bull snorted. It gently nudged Ambon with its head, careful to keep its horns clear of his body. Then, it pawed the sandy ground with its hoof. It drew a straight line with its foot in the sand, straight at the mountain in the distance. Then, it nodded its horned head in that same direction. Ambon understood immediately.
Thank you, Kosos.
The bull Kosus and Ambon shot like two arrows in the direction that the bull had drawn in the sand. The mountain forest was balmy. It smelled like fennel and warm earth against their hooves and bare feet. It did nothing to quench his thirst for vengeance. Like the bull, Ambon had no clothes, but that didn't matter. Vetton warriors normally fought naked. They preferred their freedom. The freedom that the Romans wanted to take away from them. The darkness hid the tattoos and blue paint on his naked body, but he knew it would strike fear into the Romans' hearts when they saw him. He felt strong with Kosos by his side. Now, he could atone for his earlier cowardice. As they crashed through the forest, the images came in flashes. The Romans' leather skirts, flapping, slapping sandals, clanking helmets, the shouting warriors from his village, his father.
We will not fight for the Romans. Julius Caesar is no ruler of mine. Death to the Roman colonizers!
His father's head on the ground, sinew and throat and blood gushing and hanging from his severed neck. His sword and scabbard, the one Ambon had taken, the one he was holding now. The battle. The Roman soldier picking up his dead father's head, laughing and mocking.
I'm gonna poke his eyes out. I heard Vetton eyes taste like grapes.
And then disappearing into the dust of the battle. His family and their fellow Vettons lighting their own village on fire to keep their dirty Roman hands off of it. The stone walls, the sacrificial pyre, the homes with their thatched roofs. All in flames. Everyone he knew throwing themselves onto the fire. Better to take one's own life than be a slave to the Romans. Who would want to be a slave like Lado, the slave Ambon's father had brought him? They made Lado die in the fire too, along with the livestock that they didn't want the Romans taking. And Ambon, hiding behind the stones, too cowardly to take his life in the fire, and too cowardly to follow the Romans and avenge his tribe. Now, together, Kosos and Ambon would make things right.
I want to kill them.
There, in the distance, against the starry night sky, was the plume of smoke. There was the Roman encampment.
You found it, Kosos. I knew you would.
Ambon hid behind a tree and looked at the men. The same flapping leather skirts and sandals, their helmets, laughing. His father's severed head on the ground next to them. His eyes had been popped out of their sockets.
Kosos, on the count of 3, we attack. 3.
Kosos pawed the ground.
2.
Ambon gripped his sword.
1.
Ambon launched himself from behind the tree, brandishing his father's sword.
I'll kill you, bastards!
Flying through the air, whipping the blade around his head. The look of surprise on the Romans' faces.
What in Jupiter's name is this?
Strength and anger surged through Ambon's veins. And then, he smashed butt first onto the ground next to their fire.
Oh, ow!
What is this Vetton scum? Did we miss one earlier?
Oh, he's come to get his revenge.
Tie him up. Let's have some fun, boys.
Kosos was nowhere to be seen. The bull had simply vanished. Ambon tried not to cry as the Romans trussed his arms and legs, knotting the rope together to hang him like a roast over the flames.
Put him on a spit over the fire. More Vetton eyes, like grapes.
The soldier wet his thumb with saliva and drew it across his top cheek, making a popping sound.
Just like grapes.
The soldiers began tossing the tied-up boy, like a ball over the flames, from one side of the fire to the other.
Catch the Vetton piglet, warm the meat up.
The skin on his naked body singed just a bit more every time they threw him from one side to the other. Ambon cried softly for his bull god.
Kossus, Kossus, where are you?
Ambon had failed in his mission for revenge. He looked at the soldiers' laughing faces. Their skin was gone. Their noses were gone. In their place, gray fur and long snouts. Fangs.
That's enough play. I'm hungry. Let's string him up.
The men used their paws to grab sticks around the fire, making an impromptu spit over the flames. And as the flames began to lick at his bare skin, Ambon screamed. His cries mixed with the dog's howls for the most horrific song ever sung. It was fitting, really. He hadn't had the guts to throw himself into the fire with the rest of his family. Now, the Roman dogs were doing it.
My atonement.
Just when Ambon was about to lose consciousness, a crashing sound in the trees. Kossus leapt into the circle, kicking one of the dogs with his front hoof. The dog fell to the ground, convulsing. The other wolves tried to attack, but the bull was too fast. He kicked, then knocked over the spit. Ambon fell to the ground, to the side of the flames. The bull hooked the rope that bound Ambon with its horn and tore it in two, releasing him. In the firelight, Kossus's hide glistened with brown hair. But in the moonlight, the bull's sides looked to be made of stone. Ambon jumped to his feet, his sword unsheathed. Stab! The bull gored. Stab again. Kossus trampled one of the men's chests. Most people haven't seen a man be trampled before. The hoof rips through the skin, punches through the ribcage, digs into the soft tissue of the heart, and punches out the other side. It happens in the blink of an eye, but for the one trampled, it might just be the slowest death imaginable. And then, it was over. The dogs lay dead on the ground, and Kossus was nowhere to be found. But Ambon knew he had answered his prayers.
Thank you, Kossus.
Ambon walked over to one of the corpses. Their fangs and snouts had disappeared. They looked human again. Just the blood and sweat-streaked dark face of a dirty Roman invader. Ambon leaned over, so close he could taste the dead man's breath on his lips. He put the tip of his sword into the soldier's eye socket. What might a Roman eye taste like? After Ambon had his revenge, his life took an odd, if not surprising, turn. When the Romans eventually subdued the Vetton tribes in Hispania, Ambon enlisted with the Roman army. They offered too much money for him not to. A skilled swords and horseman, he helped Caesar's army to conquer his Celtic relatives in the British Isles. He forced them to become Roman subjects. He eventually became a Roman citizen himself and accumulated a considerable amount of wealth. The voices drained from Eusebio's skull. They had told their story. What was the stone mass he had crashed into? The night was dark. He squinted. And at that moment, a beam of moonlight broke through the clouds in the black sky above. He had crashed into a towering granite bull, a Vetton bull, 2,000 years old. The night was dark, but it wasn't silent. The motorcycles were almost on top of him. Eusebio sprang to his feet. He had forgotten his cracked rib. Push through it, Eusebio. The road is right there. It's right there. You can see the lights. He saw the gravel-covered track. It wound up the mountain from the town, and there was a sheer drop-off after the ditch on the other side. Maybe he'd get lucky and some car would pass his way. Just as he broke out of the dark, warm forest that smelled of fennel, sticky fur, and dark earth, they arrived. He was at the road, but there wasn't a car in sight.
Hi, bullfighter.
Within seconds, they had him surrounded. They drove their motorcycles in circles around him, spitting up gravel under their tires.
Why were you running, bullfighter? Oh, why do you look so scared? Are you scared?
Eusebio felt warm piss between his legs. These boys were high out of their minds. He began to pray under his breath, but no rehearsed Hail Mary this time. This was a prayer of pure panic from the heart. One of the men swerved inward, toward Eusebio, his arm outstretched with a clenched fist. It made contact with his cheekbone.
God, please save me!
The second one skidded toward him. He lifted his foot off the kickstand to hit Eusebio in the shin. When Ian started swinging the chain, Eusebio knew it was the end. It arced through the moonlit sky, the metal glinting in the yellow glow. When suddenly, the most beautiful bull crashed out of the forest. Its head lowered, 52 inches of horns pointed straight at the men.
Wait, what the fuck?
Thundering hooves, grunting with powerful lungs. Headed straight for them. It gored the brother who punched Eusebio's cheek. His blood spattered. The bull rammed the one who kicked him on his motorcycle. Under the silver moonlight, the bull's brown hide looked to be made of stone. That boy would never walk again. The last was Ian, the oldest brother. He had fallen off his bike. He was struggling to stand. The chain was still in his hand.
Oh, fuck.
The bull charged just as Ian fell back down to the ground. Eusebio smiled as he watched the scene unfold. God, Jesus, and the Virgin Mary had heard his prayer. Most people haven't seen a man be trampled before. The hoof rips through the skin, punches through the ribcage, digs into the soft tissue of the heart, and punches out the other side. It happens in the blink of an eye, but for the one trampled, it might just be the slowest death.
Eusebio Ramirez?
Yeah, that's me.
The doctor will see you now.
About damn time. Took him days to get an appointment. And when he finally did, stuck in the waiting room for hours, with foreigners plugging up the public healthcare system. Damn foreigners don't even pay their taxes. Hola, Samuel here. Two themes I want to mention in relation to this story. The first is, everyone always seems to think that God is on their side, whether that's a Celtic god in a stone statue or a Virgin Mother. I guess it's easier to give something some kind of meaning, instead of just accepting that life is a big mess of accidental chaos and sometimes loose bulls are just looking for an easy target. Or maybe not. The second is that the underdog and the top dog can switch places over and over and over again. This goes both for individuals and for collectives, depending on war, the passage of time, and just pure chance. And the underdog isn't necessarily a great person. You can have a shitty lot in life and still be shitty to other people. Being an underdog doesn't mean you are automatically holier or more morally superior. The mountains in central West Spain are still littered with stone bulls and boars made by the Vettons. Isn't it amazing to think that they are 2,000 years old? You can find them everywhere. There are multiple theories as to their use, whether it was religious, symbolic, or otherwise. No one really knows for sure, so I've just told you the story that the voices told me. Unfortunately, the only written records we have on the Vettons, one of the originate Celtic indigenous tribes in what is now Spain, come from the Romans. We don't have any first-hand accounts from the Vettons themselves. Curiously enough, we do have written proof that the Vettons used the magic mushrooms found in the mountains for religious purposes. After the Romans conquered and colonized them, many joined their military ranks, like Ambon, and helped them to conquer and colonize other peoples. We do know that after being conquered, the Vettons left their towns for Roman cities, but still maintained their traditions and religious beliefs for several centuries. But then, they just disappeared and were absorbed into the Iberian gene pool, which means that Eusebio is 45th generation Roman and also a little bit Vetton. Check out the show notes for pictures of the stone bulls and a map of Vetton territory. Remember, you can follow us on social media. Just search for @SpanishSundown. I'm Samuel Mattern, and I created and produced this podcast. Special thanks to Simon Jones for the original theme music. Until night falls and the voices speak again, thank you for listening to Spanish Sundown.